The morning at Kim Enterprises started with whispers. Soft at first. Then sharper. Louder. It began in the elevator, two interns whispering as Jungkook stepped in, their eyes flitting to his slightly looser shirt, his pale face, his protective hand brushing over his stomach as if unconsciously. By the time he reached the marketing floor, he felt it. The stares. The silence that followed him. The way conversation died the moment he entered the room. He gripped the stack of reports tighter. They're just guessing, he told himself. They can't know. But someone did. And Jungkook would soon find out who. Taehyung was in his office, flipping through acquisition contracts when his door burst open without a knock. Did you tell anyone? Jungkook demanded, face flushed with a mix of fear and frustration. Taehyung immediately stood. What happened? They're talking, Jungkook said, voice low. The office. About me. About the baby. Taehyung's jaw clenched. Who started it? I don't know. But someone knows. And they're making guesses. If it spreads, if it reaches the board, let it, Taehyung snapped. Jungkook blinked. Let them talk. Let them guess, Taehyung said, walking over. If anyone tries to touch you, hurt you, shame you, even look at you the wrong way, I'll end them, Jungkook's voice cracked. Taehyung, I didn't want this. I didn't want to be gossip or scandal. I didn't want to drag you down. You're not dragging me down, Taehyung said, gripping his face gently. You're carrying my child. You saved me from my own coldness. I'll never let you carry shame for what I caused. Jungkook looked up at him, eyes wide, just as the door opened again. And in walked her. Seora, Taehyung's ex. And the woman everyone once assumed he'd marry for status and legacy. Well, she purred, stepping inside without waiting. The prodigal assistant, and his boss. Or should I say, baby daddy. Jungkook froze. Taehyung stiffened. Seora, this isn't your business. Oh, but it is, she smiled tightly. The board sent me to oversee the next murder. Imagine my surprise when I walk in and find this. Her eyes locked onto Jungkook's belly, and narrowed. Pregnant. In the office. With the CEO's child. How scandalous. The media would love this. Jungkook swallowed hard, stepping back instinctively. But Taehyung moved in front of him like a wall of fire. You open your mouth, he said lowly, dangerously, and I will burn every bridge you're standing on. Try me, Seora laughed coldly. Protective, aren't we? You never looked at me that way, because I never loved you, Taehyung said flatly. And I never even liked you, Seora's smirk cracked. Taehyung turned to Jungkook then, lowering his voice. Go to my office upstairs. Lock the door. I'll handle this. Jungkook hesitated, but Taehyung's eyes held his, soft, firm, assuring. He went. And the moment he was gone, Taehyung turned back to Seora with fire in his veins. Try hurting him, Seora, he said, voice quiet and terrifying. And I'll bury you so deep even your family name won't save you. Upstairs, Jungkook sat on the couch in Taehyung's personal lounge, hand trembling over his belly. And for the first time, he didn't feel alone. He felt protected. By the same man who once broke him. And was now, slowly, piece by piece, putting him back together. The silence in the hospital room was deafening. Jungkook had turned his face away, eyes closed, not asleep, just retreating. From the moment Taehyung had walked in again, he hadn't spoken a word. Taehyung stood at the edge of the room, fists clenched at his sides, guilt crawling under his skin like a fire he couldn't douse. He wanted to say something. Anything. But what do you say to someone you hurt, and then left unknowingly carrying your child? The monitor beeped steadily. A gentle sound, a reminder that life was still there, Jungkook's. And someone else's, too. His child. He finally took a step forward. Jungkook, no response. Another step. I didn't know, Jungkook's throat bobbed. Still, he didn't look at him. I was cruel, Taehyung admitted quietly. I didn't care what it did to you. I just wanted to hurt someone. And you, finally, Jungkook turned. His eyes glistened, but his voice was steady. I was the one you chose to destroy, Taehyung flinched. You used my heart like it was disposable, Jungkook continued. And when you were done with your revenge, you walked away. I didn't even get the decency of closure. I didn't know you were pregnant. Jungkook's laugh was bitter. Why would you? You never asked if I was okay. You never asked anything. The silence thickened. I was terrified, Jungkook whispered. Alone. Sick. Hiding every day. And you just kept showing up in meetings like I was invisible. Taehyung stepped closer. You were never invisible, you made me feel like I was. That struck deep. Jungkook pressed a hand to his stomach instinctively. Protective. Unconscious. Taehyung's eyes followed the movement. I want to be involved, he said softly. I want to try. Even if you can't forgive me. Jungkook looked at him then, really looked, as if trying to see past the layers of betrayal and bitterness. Trying to remember if the man he once cared for was still buried in there somewhere. I don't know if I can trust you, he admitted, voice cracking. Taehyung's eyes lowered. I know, but this baby, Jungkook blinked, tears falling again. I won't let it grow up unloved. I would never let that happen, Taehyung said firmly. Jungkook let out a shaky breath. Then prove it, Taehyung nodded once. I will, he meant it. Because something inside him had shifted the moment he saw Jungkook fall, saw the ultrasound, saw his eyes filled with fear. This wasn't revenge anymore. This was reality. Raw, painful, and precious. And for the first time, Taehyung wanted to fight. Not to hurt, but to be worthy. The hospital discharged Jungkook 2 days later. Not because he was fully okay, emotionally, he wasn't even close, but the doctor said rest and less stress would be better for the baby. He wasn't ready to see Taehyung waiting at the door of his hospital room with a coat in one hand and a gentle, uncertain look in his eyes. I can take a cab, Jungkook said, already bristling. Taehyung shook his head. You're not going alone? I've been alone this whole time. That silence again, cold, heavy. Taehyung didn't fight him. He simply turned and walked beside him. Quietly. Carefully. He helped Jungkook into the car, holding the door open like muscle memory. Like instinct. Jungkook hated how familiar it felt. The ride to his apartment was tense. The city passed by like a blur. Neither of them spoke, just the hum of the engine and the weight of words unsaid between them. When they arrived, Taehyung hesitated before getting out. Let me help you up, I'm pregnant, not dying, Jungkook snapped. But his steps were unsteady. Taehyung didn't ask. He gently took the bag from his hand and followed him up anyway. Jungkook's apartment was small, clean, quiet, and lonely. He hadn't let anyone visit. Not even Jimin. Not since the pregnancy test turned positive. Taehyung stood awkwardly at the door once they stepped in. You can leave now, Jungkook said, setting his keys down. I want to make sure you're okay, Jungkook turned sharply. You made sure I wasn't for months. Taehyung swallowed hard. I know, silence again. But this one cracked. I threw up every morning alone, Jungkook whispered. Sat in clinics surrounded by other people's families. Hid my stomach at work while you glared at me like I was something beneath your shoe. His voice broke. I used to dream about telling you. And in the dream, you were kind. You put your hand on my stomach and said, we'll figure this out. Taehyung's eyes stung. But then I'd wake up, Jungkook continued. And you'd be in your office, not even looking at me. I didn't know, Taehyung choked. If I had, you would have done what? Married me? Loved me? Jungkook scoffed bitterly. You only came running when I collapsed. Taehyung stepped forward. I'm here now, too late. But then Jungkook wavered. He felt the nausea hit again. Hard. He staggered, clutching his stomach. Taehyung was at his side instantly, catching him before he fell. Hey, breathe. Sit down. He guided him to the couch, kneeling in front of him. Jungkook was trembling. Taehyung reached for a glass of water and pressed it into his hand. I know I don't deserve your trust, Taehyung whispered. But please, let me stay. Just for tonight. I won't touch you. I won't ask for anything. Just let me be here. For you. For the baby. Jungkook looked down at the man who once broke him, now trembling himself. He didn't say yes. But he didn't say no. He just leaned back, hand on his belly, and closed his eyes. And Taehyung stayed. On the floor beside the couch. Watching over the two hearts he never knew could matter this much.